Baseball season has returned, and so has MLB The Show. 24 is here. It is time to get a new franchise underway. Cannot wait to get this one going. And obviously, we had a team choice to go with. Had 4 teams, but it really went down to 2 teams. And based on the thumbnail of this video, you can tell which team we went with. The second one that was very close was the Chicago White Sox. Obviously, very, very close. And these franchises were 2 different ones. The White Sox, a total rebuild. But you have the team there we're going with, the New York Mets. A team that's kind of in a weird position. You're behind the Braves. You're behind the Phillies. But you have a ton of guys on big contracts. You expect to win. It is New York. The Yankees is right there. They're right there. So this is a team that expects to win. Doesn't want to be in a rebuild. Fans don't want to be in a rebuild. So we go with the Mets. This is going to be an interesting one for sure. A little bit different than usual than a full rebuild. We're going to try to win season number 1 and go from there. So you can see the settings we got. Not really changing anything right there. I definitely ignore the budgets. Yeah, we're going to keep that off. Obviously, all the tasks, development tasks, general manager tasks, it's all going to be manual. I'm going to do everything on here. We're not going to do anything different. If you're first time being here, any franchises that I run, whether it be Madden, MLB The Show, sometimes NBA, haven't done that in a few years, but I try to run it as realistic as possible. Obviously, it's still a game, so you're going to get unrealistic, trades or signings. Sometimes it happens, but you try to keep it as real as possible. So right now, this video, what we're going to do, just go over the roster, check out some prospects. We won't get in a game today. That'll probably be tomorrow. We'll do opening day tomorrow. But let's get into this roster. So Starling Marte, this will be his 3rd year here in New York. You can see this team had, that expectations last year, and it just went down the drain. And that's why this team it's in a weird spot. See, Marte only 5 home runs at 248, really dropped off. Still has 2 years left on his deal, nearly $20 million. So that's the question of this whole entire franchise. You can see the age of this guy. He's 35. Jeff McNeil, 32. A lot of these guys over 30 years old. McNeil, a drop-off season as well. After the 326 season, hits 270, OPS only 711. So McNeil at 32 years old. He's got 4 years left on this deal. So a lot of these deals, it's tough because, who's going to pull a trade and take those contracts? I don't know. And either with a rebuild, it's not really a rebuild because, like I said, these contracts alone are going to be tough to get rid of. And just in New York, you want to put out a winner. You don't want to be, stuck in that weird area. And obviously, when you're trying to, like I said, compete with the Atlanta Braves, first of all, the best team in baseball, it is tough. But look at Brandon Nimmo, massive contract. Nimmo and obviously Lindor's contracts are crazy. Now, Pete Alonso, a Met lifer so far in his career. Still a power hitter, 46 home runs, one of the best power hitters in baseball, but the average completely dropped off last year, 217 average. The OPS is still not bad, but the on base there, he's still going to obviously give you those bombs, but average is going to go up. And the thing is, he's got pretty much a year left in this deal. So really depends what we do near the All-Star break, how we're looking. Is he a trade? A guy we get rid of, a guy that, brings in some prospects? I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? Obviously, Francisco Lindor, many great years in Cleveland, comes into New York, a big contract, 31 home runs last year, 254 average, 31 stolen bases, so the 30-30 club for Lindor. Unbelievable talent, now 30 years old. So once again, another 30-year-old. He has a massive contract to 2031. So Lindor's really not going anywhere. He's obviously the face of this franchise. And hopefully we can build a winner around him. Really can. Hopefully we can bring in some youth. We have some guys we'll take a look at here after this main roster. You got Francisco Alvarez, who is a youngster, only 22 years old, only his 3rd year. You see the average down, but the power is there. So if we can get 30 home runs from him this year, obviously be under team control for a number of years, but maybe 30 home runs, that's what you want to see. I think this lineup could be good. Mauricio, now, he is in the lineup in the moment, but he will not be. He tore his ACL. He will be out. I will make sure to manual injury that guy out of here. He will be out pretty much for the season, so maybe see him next year. He will not be in the lineup, so I will make sure to update injuries. I'll show them here at the end because I want to make sure that is as realistic as possible. Tyrone Taylor, kind of this bottom order, pretty good fielder, decent arm. He's out there. Now, what he's going to give you with the bat, not really sure. But Harrison Bader, they're kind of going to split time a little bit. Bader will be out there as well. So maybe he gives you a little bit better of a lefty lineup. He's a great fielder, great arm. And then you got Brett Baty there at the end of the order at third base right now. He's only 24 years old, trying to show what he's got. Only hit 212 last year. So, maybe third base is a position we can definitely upgrade. We'll see what Baty can bring to the table this year. And maybe he's going to be more of a guy, in the next few years, more of a bench position guy. We'll see with that. But Baty's going to round out the lineup there. Mauricio, I'm probably going to go with G-Man Choi kind of as a DH versus righties. And then maybe add in Stewart a little bit. So, we'll have to figure out that DH spot. Obviously, DH now fully in the major leagues. To me, personally, I'm glad they changed that. I want everything to be the same. I just don't understand. Never understood the differences between leagues. It just made no sense to me. You play the entire sport. It's like, the AFC having tight ends where, the NFC, we don't allow tight ends. I'd be like, what in the world? It never made any sense to me, so I'm glad it's at least one. Kodai Senga, he will be out to probably May. I believe they were saying a shoulder. I don't know if it was shoulder tightness, but I believe he's going to be out till May, so we'll obviously take him out of the rotation. Like I said, we'll do the manual injury to make sure he doesn't come back until around May. I'm glad they have that in there. I love the manual injury thing. That way you can just, play as real, start as real as you possibly want. Or if you just want to start with those guys right away, kind of do your own thing, it's great. But I want to start out, where they're kind of not there. We'll do it with David Peterson as well. We'll see him in the rotation. But Jose Quintana came over last year, 3-6 season, dealing with some injury concerns, 3.57 ERA, whip not bad at 1.31, but you could see the walks going up. So this rotation's very interesting. At 35 years old, this is the last year of this deal here to him. Could be a trade partner. This rotation, not the strongest. Luis Severino, now 30 years old, had a tough year in New York last year. 4-8 with a 6.65 ERA after a solid 2022 season. Looking like a great pitcher, but nah. He really, really struggled. Only 5 quality starts last year. A negative WAR. So stays in New York. Question is, what can he bring to the table this year for this Mets? Same thing, just a 1-year deal. Trying to kind of replace everything. Obviously, they signed Scherzer and Verlander to massive deals, and then they get traded. So, those two top-of-the-line pitchers not here. Sean Manaea comes over from San Francisco. Had a solid year, 7-6, but you could see had some bullpen rotation there. So he'll be in the rotation. That hair is amazing. Obviously, not the pitcher he used to be for the A's, but still can give you some quality starts. He has 2 years left on his deal, and that's going to be the big thing, the contracts. I'm going to be aggressive, I would say, with free agency. We're going to try to play this like we're a GM in New York. We're going to be aggressive, but we're going to try to be smart. And some of these guys, I'm telling you, I don't know how we're going to be. If we're in contention, do we make a move to bolster this rotation and bullpen? I think the lineup could fare well, but that's going to be the question here. Usually season 1, obviously, with most of these franchises ever done, they're always rebuilds, right? So that's why this makes this different, because usually season 1, you try to get it done as quickly as you possibly can and get into the full rebuild. But this is going to be interesting. Season 1's going to go a little bit slower. Edwin Diaz now back, so he'll be your closer, but it's going to go a little bit slower. And we'll see where we're at. Are we going to be in the wild card race? If we're in that wild card race, what do we do? Do we make some moves? Do we be aggressive? I'm not really sure. Now, if we're out of it, obviously, then it's, we're going to start to trade even more guys. But I don't know if we'll be in the contention for the division. I think the Braves are just too good. That Phillies team still very, very good. So I think that's going to be tough. We're just really going to have to compete for a wild card. Now, as for the farm system of this Mets team, let's go through some prospects. Number 1, Jet Williams. We're going to kind of go to our top 10. So Jet Williams, A potential, can play plenty of positions. He has a great eye. Last year, second in the minors in walks. I believe he had 104 walks last year, so he has the vision really should be up a little bit more. Fantastic speed, solid hitter. The thing he is going to have to, obviously, is the power just not there. But the size is 5'6", 175. I'm not sure how much power. But if he could be more of a contact, speed, fielder guy, that's what you want to see. And hopefully he can be a fantastic fit. Drew Gilbert, man, we had so much success with him in the Pirates franchise last year. And we get to have him here again. So how fantastic is that? Drew Gilbert, above average speed, plus arm, plus hitter. Just trying to develop that power. And he could be up this year. We'll see. Drew Gilbert is a guy that could be instantly up maybe at the end of the season. Luis Angel Acuna. If you obviously recognize that name, it's Ronald Acuna's brother. 22 years old, 5'8", so the size, a little bit, but Acuna, he's got some great speed, great arm, great fielding. Same thing kind of with Drew Gilbert. The power just not there yet. I believe he can develop the power, but Acuna's hopefully going to be a part of this franchise as well and hopefully develop him. It's going to be cool to see those brothers going at it in the end division. That would be really, really obviously something to see. Something really cool to see. We'll go down to Ryan Clifford. Now, he came over in the Verlander trade. He has high power. He is more of a power hitter, no doubt about it. 6'3", 200 pounds. And I think he just has room to grow defensively. Hopefully we can, get that up a little bit. But the bat is kind of there already. He's still I would say a couple years away from making an impact. But right now, putting him at first base, I think that's the best thing. Christian Scott is up next. He's got a plus fastball, solid control, solid changeup. He has an above average slider. Now, in college, he did come out of the bullpen a lot, but obviously drafted as a starter. We're going to keep him that way. We'll see how it works out. But right now, I would say pretty much I'm going to see your top pitching prospect for sure in this organization at the moment. So there is Christian Scott. Next, we have Colin Houck. Now, he is an interesting prospect because he was a 3-star athlete out of high school, had a chance to go to Mississippi State on a football scholarship, quarterback, but drafted by the Mets, signs the contract, so he is here. Raw power for him, no doubt about it. He has solid speed, and obviously being a quarterback, should have a very, very good arm. I would say the arm probably needs to be upped a little bit. But Colin Houck, interesting prospect there. Marco Vargas, we're going right here to our number 8 kind of guy. Plus hitter for sure. Solid speed, solid fielding, only 18 years old. So, plenty of time to progress on Marco Vargas. Plenty of time to work on that. Probably power a little bit. Speaking of power, Kevin Parada, here you go. This is a guy who can crush the ball. No doubt about it. Has plus power. Just have to work on that, I would say, vision a little bit. He's not going to give you the great speed, obviously being a catcher. The question is, do you move him to a different position? We'll see. Blade Tidwell is going to be our next one here. He has a plus fastball, plus slider. That's sinking action really good. So you can probably get it up to the mid-90s right now. 22 years old. Time to really develop him. But some of these guys, we'll see. Do they continue this franchise, or are they kind of like trade bait? Now, last one we're going to look at is Jeremy Rodriguez. He came over kind of the 1-1 Tommy Pham trade. He is an excellent hitter. Should have a really good arm. Solid speed. Only 18 years old out of Puerto Rico. So we'll have to look out for Jeremy Rodriguez as well. Being at shortstop, you got Lindor there. So it really is interesting what you got to do with that, because Lindor is going to be here for years. Now, we see the top 100 prospect list. You can see Jet Williams right there at number 6. Now, finally, after years and years, we finally have a top 20 by organization. I've wanted this forever. I never got why they didn't have this in here. And finally, a top 20 by organization is awesome. Because also, if you're looking for a trade, you can go to see where teams are valuing each prospect. They have a guy at like number, 5 that you want, or maybe a guy you're looking at, they have valued at like 3. So it's really cool to see. Finally, I'm glad to see it. Gets to, more of the minor leaguers maybe you don't know that are down in like 15 through 20. So that is really awesome to see. Finally, they had that in here. And as you can see, we updated the injuries. Now, obviously, these aren't the, same specific injuries they've had in real life, but based on the days, just came up with that. So there's your injuries. There's your Mets roster. And we'll sim through spring. And we're going to get right into opening day. Obviously, that should be tomorrow. Opening day will come out. Cannot wait to get this one going. But let me know what you guys think. The Mets, it's going to be an interesting first season. See what we can do. See if we can compete. If not, hey, I'm ready. I'll make some moves. There's no doubt about it. I'll make some moves, try to make these contract workarounds. And we're going to get this Mets team back to a winner. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the support. Hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.